A few weeks ago, I was talking to Matt Pangrak from the Bass Talk Live podcast, and he challenged me to make a video where I picked a random spot on a lake and then try to catch a 5 bass limit in that area by any means possible. I thought this was a pretty cool challenge, so I decided to go to Beaver Lake in Arkansas and try it out. Okay, the way I'm going to choose my fishing spot today on Beaver Lake is by laying out a paper map on the deck of the boat and rolling a 6-sided die. Hopefully this will randomize the area, and there we go. Down here actually, a little bit further down the lake, and I'm going to allow myself to fish within 1 mile of where that dice landed. So let's take a look at the fish finder and see the area we're working with. Okay, so I made over here to the area where the dice landed, and I have my range ring set up on my Lowrance HDS Pro, and it's a 1 mile range ring. So basically anywhere inside of this first outer ring through here is fair game to fish right now. And this area of the lake, I fished before in the summertime, and I've actually never had any luck this time of year here. So this is going to be interesting because traditionally this is a really good spring section of the lake, but again, I just haven't caught them here in the summer. But based on what I can see on the map here, there are several good things to check out. Obviously, we have some really nice flats over here, which could have a lot of brush and different things in them. There's a nice point that sticks out into the lake, as well as a creek channel that swings up, creating kind of a bluff wall with some points sticking out. There's again some nice flats on this side, as well as a really nice steep drop off right here. We can also get into this creek potentially based on what we can see here, and I do have some brush and just different things marked from Google Earth waypoints, so we may be able to even sneak into this creek and see if there's fish in there. So we have a lot of different water to potentially cover, and I'm going to try to keep in mind exactly what I can fish here. I basically can't go into this big creek here. I can fish the majority of this creek, and I basically have to stop as soon as I get to the end of this point here. Can't fish that creek. So we'll kind of keep that in mind as a border. The first place I want to start though is actually over here, right on this channel swing point. We're here in the middle of August, but the lake has been pretty high all year and they're still pulling some current. And I'm thinking that any place where this creek channel is running up closer to shallow water should hold some fish because that current is running just a little bit. It's not as much as it was earlier in the year, and this actually may be a better spot for like June and July versus August. So we're gonna check out here first. It may not hold anything, and if not, we'll just keep looking around, but that's my first instinct, so let's head over there. Uh-oh, okay, so maybe we just found something right away here. There's actually a brush pile, looks like, that has a fish on it right here. There's also a bunch of bait. What is going on? I was actually making my way up to this little channel swing point, and there's a really nice brush pile. It looks like it has a fish in it right there. Pretty good fish. Let me mark that brush pile. Maybe we stumbled onto something. I honestly hadn't even made it all the way up to where I wanted to go. There's quite a bit of brush in this area. Let's take a look at this again. Looks like there's a little bit of brush, just a few stick-ups. There's a fish you can see on that 2D sonar right in there. Again, mark that with a fish icon as well. And that looks pretty good. There's another brush pile right there that has some fish on it. There's a bunch of bait and everything through here. Okay, that's a lot of fish on that pile. Holy cow, those can't all be bass. I don't think these are all bass. There's probably a lot of other species mixed in, but even if they're just some smaller spotted bass, that's a really good sign. I also like there's so much bait in this area. Holy cow. And graphing brush can be tricky. There's more over here because a lot of times this time of year you can catch some quality fish out of the brush, but only maybe 1 out of every 15, 20 brush piles you fish actually is good. So I don't like to get too excited about fishing brush this time of year, to be honest. I would prefer to fish for fish that are setting up more in groups if possible. But if we have to go to the brush, that's definitely a good pattern this time of year too. It's just not my #1 option if I can avoid it. There's a lot of little stick-ups and just isolated pieces of cover though through here too, little stumps and stuff that we may be able to target as well. There's a lot happening in this area. I really like this. Now I really like what's coming up on the right side of the side scan here. We have a solid drop off. Looks like there's a little bit of bait out there, a rocky edge. Like that quite a bit. Not seeing any schools of fish or anything. They're jumping off the screen. But I really like that rocky drop. We'll regraph this again right on that drop. But I want to see if we can, there we go. There's some fish right there. This is more what I'm looking for. So there's some fish in these rocks on this drop. Those are some quality fish right there too, right in here. That's what I'm looking for. So these fish are positioned on the edge of this drop around that break, right in here, all through here down that break. And it looks like there's quite a few of them. We can even see a few on the side scan right in through here and right in here. We'll mark a fish icon right there. there's a few smaller dots. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4 in through here. I'm gonna back us out really quick, and I'm gonna mark this entire drop really quick as well with the rock, just so I have that marked, because I wanna know exactly where the edge of that deal is right there. That looks really good. With the current and stuff, that should be a spot right there. Ooh, that looks pretty good here. Just working our way down this drop, and this is the first decent sized fish I've seen. There's a lot of little small fish swimming around, look like bluegill and stuff. These are the first decent fish I've seen pop up. About 20 feet down, a few feet out. Come on, fish. Oh, one of you get it. Throwing a big flutter spoon on them. Come on, get it, fish. That's a good one too. Eat it. Come on. Oh, he got interested. He didn't grab it though. That's the first good fish I've seen. Sitting here in 20 foot of water. There's a few more kind of chilling off this edge. He didn't want the spoon. Let's see if I can drop something else to him. That was interesting. First decent fish I've seen here. I kind of worked my way down this drop quite a bit, and there were a few smaller fish up there, shallower, nothing crazy. This is the first, again, decent sized fish I've seen. Come on, fish, get it, get it, get it. Come on, come on, come on. He's all over it. Just get it, just eat it. Oh my gosh, he's all over it. He didn't get it. That was on the minnow. He didn't want the minnow. Come on, there's two of them on it. Come on. He's right there, get it, get it. Oh, he didn't get it. My goodness. He followed that thing all the way back. Okay, so that fish was in 20 to 20 plus feet of water. There were several fish down there, it looked like too. Close to the bottom, right on this drop, right where we were expecting them to be, which is a good sign. They didn't want to eat that. I'm surprised they didn't eat the spoon or the minnow, which is interesting. These fish do get picked on out here quite a bit on beaver, so they may have just been a little bit too pressured. Maybe they've been seeing these baits and stuff like that. So a lot of times on these schools, these are, even though these are kind of like my first instinct spots, they're not always the best spots to catch them, just because these fish, again, get pressured, they get picked on. And on beaver, I found that these types of areas have been harder and harder to catch fish on as the year progresses, and just over the last couple of years, they've been difficult to catch fish on. So we're gonna keep looking around down this drop a little bit, but honestly, I'm not really loving what I'm seeing. Oh, there's one. Oh, get it, fish. Come on, that's a good one too. Get it. Before we left, I wanted to check out a couple of these brush piles. That's a good fish that came out of that brush pile towards my spoon. He didn't get it though. He looked at it. He didn't commit. What in the world? He came up hot out of that brush pile to look at my spoon. Spoon may not be the deal. There's a good fish right there too. I don't know what that is. Get back down there. Interesting. So these brush piles here are pretty deep, but that was definitely a bass that was chasing after my bait. I just don't know how big it was. It looked about the same size as my spoon, so it could just be a little spotted bass, but it could be a good one. It's kind of hard to tell. Okay, got another brush pile right here, about 60 feet out. A little bit of bait around it too, it looks like. See if anyone's home. Drop that spoon again. I like throwing a spoon on these brush piles because it's just something that other guys are not doing, and it draws these fish out of the brush pile really well. When they're in there and there's a good one, a lot of times they'll come up and eat this spoon without you having to drop it super tight in there. And if one doesn't come up and look at it, it just means there's nobody home. So on that one, like, there was really not that much activity, but there's another one out here. Looks like there's some fish, decent fish in this one. I got this new color palette from Lowrance going on. I really like it. It's kind of makes the brush piles disappear slightly. Oh, here we go. Come on, fish. Get it. One of you get it. There's like 2 or 3 of them right there. Get competitive and eat it, fish. Come on. Look at them all. Oh my gosh. One of you get it. Look at all these fish. Come on. What in the world? How did they not eat that thing? Spoon may just not be the bait today, I guess. But I know that if they're getting that aggressive around it, when you get around the right one, they're gonna eat it. These might just be too small. These fish could all be like little spotted bass. I don't wanna switch up when they're reacting that good to the spoon. Okay, we're coming up on our brush pile here. This one looks like it has some life in it. About 70 feet out. I'm gonna drop my spoon down there and see if anyone is home. I really like this flyer spoon. Look at them all. When there's a good one in there, oh my gosh, one of you get it. Come on, fish. Oh my gosh, just hit it, eat it. One of you get it. If there's a good one in there, he will get it. They're just, they gotta be all tiny spotted bass. Look how many fish are in that pile though. Come on, one of the good ones get it. There's gotta be like a 3-pounder in there, or at least a 1.5 pound spotted bass that can actually eat it. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. There's a bunch of fish around these piles. Wow, they didn't like that. Let me try something else. Before I left these brush piles, I did try a bunch of different baits in and around them. I threw a jig, a big worm, a drop shot, shaky head, and a fluke on a scamper rig, but the fish just were not reacting very well, and I don't think there were very many big fish in these brush piles. So I decided to change it up to try to find some better quality fish. Okay, on the plan. See here, guys, we already kind of got it started. Found some fish setting up in some standing timber. They don't look huge, but they're right in the depth zone and kind of what I was hoping to find. There's standing timber here in 10 foot of water, which is the same depth we've seen a lot of the bait fish swimming around today in. And it's just off one of these shorter pockets. I'll show you what this is, but I'm gonna mark this with timber really quick, just so we have that mark. And you can see there's other timber in this area that's topping out in different depths. Right here, it's topping out in 20 foot. And we're gonna see if we can find any fish setting up in and around this stuff. These fish were pretty close to the mouth of this pocket, and I don't know exactly how many spots like this we're gonna be able to find, because there's only a few creeks like this that are in our zone, but it looks like if we can find some of this timber, we may be in business. This is the type of stuff that I really like to fish this time of year, and there's another wad of fish setting up in this group of timber. My goodness. Okay, we found some timber with some fish. You can see these fish pretty clearly here, and this whole tree is kind of stacked up with some fish. You can see them on side scan pretty good too. If we come over here, right in here, you can see them, some fish setting up in that timber right there. So we'll mark that with fish. So we got that right there. I'm gonna let that rest for a second just because we just graphed over the top of it, and I wanna see if we can find a few more trees that set up like that. It's kind of all down that little row. There's some timber even going further into this pocket. I can just see it on the shoreline, and then there's more around this corner. So I wanna keep graphing, and I'll let you know if I find some more, because if we can find 2 or 3 of these timber spots, this might be a way to put some fish in the boat, or at least give us another chance. We've been around fish, we just need to find some active biting ones. Ooh, there we go, graphing down this bluff, and we found another tree with a few fish in it. Interesting. You can see that tree popping right there. And then mark that with a fish icon. Looks like a decent fish. Just down this straight bluff wall, there's some timber that's just sitting out here. There are definitely some fish in this timber. And I have a feeling that a lot of these areas are not gonna get fished by the wranglers, because it's kind of hard to identify them with the 2D and the down scan, and it may just give me a little bit of enough stuff to myself that I can start putting a few fish in the boat. This is not going to set the world on fire unless we start seeing some big arches in these trees, but I have caught some big largemouth, or big for beaver, 3-pounders in trees like this before, so I'm not gonna count it out, but we're gonna have to find more trees if we want to have a chance of catching a bunch of fish. Ooh, there's another tree right there. It's right next to a big rock, but we can see a fish right here very clearly on that 2D sonar. Mark that again. Every single one of these points basically seems to have a fish on it, or a piece of timber with fish on it. Every one of these kind of points leading into a pocket, so that's a good sign. There are a few pieces of timber too around these bluffs that seem to have a few fish at least, but what I'm probably gonna do is I'm probably just gonna graph this last point right here, and then we're gonna start fishing some of this timber, because I don't wanna graph too much stuff and then not have it be any good and waste too much time. But I think we're getting into some stuff here that feels pretty good. There's another tree that has a few fish in it. Looks pretty good right in here. Switch back over quickly. Let's take a look. There are some trees out here for sure that look decent. Okay, we got our first tree that we marked right here, and there's a fish sitting right in the top of it, about 60 feet out, right where we were expecting. Let's see if we can get our bait down to him and see if he'll eat it. Right there. Come on, fish. Come on, get it. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, just eat it.
Eat it. Oh my gosh, they're there. He didn't get it. Eat it, fish. They're right on it. I don't know if I have the wrong bait or what it is, but they are just circling it. They're right on that tree though. These are catchable fish, 100%. Come on. Oh my gosh, these are good ones too. I have the wrong bait on. That's all it is with this deal right here. I need to go to a different profile bait. Man, those are good ones right there, right on our tree that we marked. I mean, on the waypoint. Gotta change baits. Come on, fish. One of you come get it. Come on, come on. Got him. There we go, finally. There's some fish out here around these trees. Made a bait change. Not a big one. Okay. Maybe this is what we're seeing out here, guys. Oh my gosh. No wonder they couldn't get my other bait. I was throwing a 4.5-inch minnow, and now I switched over to a little like 3-inch minnow, and he finally is eating it, but this is a tiny fish. Just these little spotted bass right here. Got them on that strut head and the Yamamoto shad-shaped worm, but not what we're looking for from a size perspective, but at least we got one in the boat. We have a bait that they'll actually eat. We can determine their size. I think that some of these fish are bigger than that. Those look kind of small on the screen, so maybe this is the bait we need now, and we can start putting some in the boat. There's multiple fish around this tree right here. We're marking these trees really well, so we know we're able to find them. I don't think these are the right fish though, even to be worrying about fishing for right now, because they seem like they're just these smaller spotted bass, but I've had days where I've caught good largemouth doing this, so I don't want to completely give up on this. Come on, fish. One just tried to slap it right there. Look at all of them. There's so many of them. Oh, get it. Get it. Golly, look how they all just showed up off that tree. And oh my gosh, there's good ones there. Come on. Are you kidding me? Oh, let me try something else. I'm gonna try this spoon on them. I don't know why they would eat the spoon over the minnow, but I just want to try something. They're all just stacked in that tree. We marked that on 2D. It's literally on top of our waypoint, which is so cool to me that you can mark these fish on 2D and then come back with the forward facing. It's like kind of combo regular structure fishing mixed with the newer technology. But where's my bait at? There it is. Okay, my bait's falling right there at 40 feet, 50 foot. It's right where all those fish are. Any of them want to actually eat the spoon? Come on. Come on. Are any of you big enough to actually eat the spoon? That's the real question of the day. You probably are not. If we were on a lake right now that had like 3 and 4 pounders in it, all over the place, we would be having a field day with this spoon. You can see that spoon's almost the same size as these dang fish. That's why they're not getting it. The other one just swam up from out of nowhere to kind of come into the area. Is that another bass? Come on. My goodness, there's a lot of activity around these trees and around this area. Unfortunately, I just think they're all smaller spotted bass, so we're probably just gonna have to, again, figure something else out. I wanna run the rest of my trees at least that we have marked, just to see, so we have enough of them marked. Maybe we can start catching some like 1.5 to 2 pound spotted bass, and then we'll be in business. So we struck out on a bunch of different types of offshore areas, from some steeper drops to some deeper brush piles, shallow rock, and then that deeper standing timber. And honestly, I feel like the fact that we only saw small fish on all of those areas is not a great sign that we're gonna find good quality fish offshore. So I feel like our best bet right now to try to catch a quality fish is actually head up here shallower and fish around for some largemouth that might be setting up with the little bit higher water around boat docks, flooded cover, and maybe feeding on brim and things like that. This is a great pattern in August, and I've caught some really nice fish over the years on beaver, fishing a jig around boat docks, same as Table Rock and a few other lakes. So this is definitely a pattern that can hold them. And the fact that we haven't had any big bites offshore or even a keeper bite offshore makes me feel like this is probably where the majority of the better quality fish are at the moment. So we're gonna fish several docks through the back of this creek that's still kind of in our little zone here and see if we can get a bite.
I ended up spending about an hour flipping some shallow boat docks and throwing a buzzbait in the back of shallow pockets in this creek. This is usually a really good pattern on Beaver Lake this time of year and can generate some big largemouth, but what I've found over the years is that there are just small sections of the lake where this works. If you have a 30-mile stretch of lake, there may only be 1 or 2 miles in that whole section that has good quality largemouth that are in these shallow pockets actively feeding, and this section of the lake wasn't one of them. So after striking out here, I had to come up with a new strategy.
Ooh, are those some fish right there? There may be some fish setting up on the 2D. They're really tight to the bottom. It's hard to tell. Let me check this out. It looks like there's some fish right here. These are really hard to see. If we zoom in here. Right there and there, you can see a couple of dots. Those could be rocks, but I think those are fish. We're kind of out here back again, graphing offshore. I need to set my range back down from 70 feet. We were out there really deep graphing those trees earlier, and I want to see if we can find a few fish that are setting up on some rounded points that have the current again kind of washing into them. The current has been running now for a little while, and maybe it's just positioned these fish up a little bit better on these rounded points, and maybe they're going to start biting. We've been around a lot of fish today, so it may just be a situation where we've missed the timing out here offshore. We know there's not a pile of them up shallow. There is some really good rock and stuff too off on the right side of the side scan. I want to see what those fish were looking like up here though. It looks like there might be some fish actually just out to the right. Yeah, there's some fish on this. You can see them now a little bit better. They're right up on top of this point. You can actually see them on the side scan. There's actually quite a few of them. My gut was right. So let's take a look at all of this. So these are the fish. You couldn't really see them super easily on the first pass, but they're there. And then if we look at the side scan view, there's a few fish that you can see setting up right in here. So they're really tight to the bottom. There's a few of them kind of scattered through here. And then it looks like there's also potentially a few fish scattered in and around out here and some stuff all the way out here. So we're gonna mark this. We're gonna mark this with some brush. Got some good looking stuff here and more rock. I want to check this out. And there was actually another point just over here too that looked pretty good. We'll let that rest for just a second. There's another point just up the way here. Try not to run over those fish another time. That's another little rounded point that's on the main lake. That water's gonna be running over the top of it with that current. Let me get over there real quick and see if there's anything there, because if there's a fish on this point, there probably should be a fish on this point over here too. Okay, we're coming up to this point here, and it looks like there's already a couple fish kind of sitting off the point in that 15-foot of water zone. Oh yeah, there's fish on this point too. Yep, you can see them kind of sitting off the point, and then there's some up on top of that point too on 2D. Quite a few fish actually through here. Holy cow. Okay, interesting. You can see them on right there. I mean, there's one, two, three, four. I'm gonna mark this as a fish icon. There's fish all up through here. Okay, so we got some fish. Finding the fish today has not been the hard part. It's been getting them to bite. So maybe it's just a situation where we need to get into a couple areas like this and just figure out the right bait. I haven't really cranked these fish yet today. Maybe throwing a crankbait at them could be the deal. Maybe I need to pull out some other random weird stuff to get them to bite. Let's figure out where this wind is blowing from. I think it's blowing from this direction, so we should be good. I'm gonna hit this point over here to start, this one right over here, and we're gonna see if we can get a bite off this, and then we're also gonna come back and fish that point. It's the only thing we haven't really tried there, are these rounded points, so hopefully this will be the deal. Okay, well there's definitely some fish up there. You can see them up there at 70 foot out. Let's see if I can get my bait over to them. There's a bunch of them up there. Don't know what they're doing. My bait's gonna fall at 70. See if any of them want to come up and react to it. Oh, come on, come on, come get it. Look at them all. Oh my gosh. One of you come eat it. Oh my goodness, look at them all. Got them, there we go. Nice, on the Scamper Rig. Drop that thing down there. Okay, maybe we got it figured out a little bit now on these points. Scamper is the way to get them. Not a big fish, but it's better than anything we've had so far. Good spotted bass, good keeper at least. He ate that Scamper Rig with the Yamamoto D-shad, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, maybe these fish are more positioned. That is a nice quality keeper spot, and there's a bunch more where that came from. So maybe it's just turning on, the bite's turning on. Maybe we can rerun even some of these areas, but that fish ate that thing good too. Okay, well there we go. Core Tackle Scamper Rig and that Yamamoto D-Shad got the job done on that deal. Let's get back over there and look at them. You can see all these fish. They just kind of restacked back up right down there on the bottom. They're about 70 feet out. Try to get my bait back over to them. That Scamper Rig is great when you're dealing with these spotted bass this time of year because you can move it so quick and it just gets them to react. My bait's at 90 right now. It's falling now a little bit further up the screen, and we're about to get right in the middle of them. What I like to do with this deal is burn it and kill it, and burn it and kill it. When I'm in their area, it gets these fish a little bit excited. They're more willing to chase it. They're falling to them. Come on, here we go. Come on, fish. Oh, come on. Look at them all. Look at them all. Oh, yeah, one had it. Come on. Got him. There he is. Okay, on the Scamper. That's what I'm talking about. Look how many there are behind them too. They're just all over. The Scamper Rig though gets the better quality fish on average. Those little guys can't eat it as well. Spot lock here. And usually you're gonna catch keepers on this deal, so I really like it. It's a good spotted bass again. I mean, these are just spots, but right now we're just trying to catch fish. That is a really nice spotted bass too. Wow, on that Scamper Rig, that is a chunk right there. Beautiful fish. Man, okay, let's get back down there because they are loaded on that thing. Let's get another one of these D-Shads rigged up. You basically go through one D-Shad every fish catch, unfortunately, with the Scamper Rig, but it has the best action out of any bait that I've put on this. So that's why I keep throwing it. You can use a zoom fluke and still get that good scampering action, that vibrating action, but I just really like this D-Shad. Again, you go through more of them, but to me, it's worth it because they eat it so well. And they're just going right back to the spot right up there that we marked, right on our waypoint. So that's really cool that they're not spreading out too much. Sometimes these fish will spread out and leave an area, but it's almost like they're kind of getting right back into it at 70 feet. My bait's right there. One's following it right now. Come on. Come on. One of you come get it. Let that thing fall and burn it. Come on, fish. So many of them up there. They're a little bit shy on it now. I might have to throw something new up there just because they might be getting conditioned to that. Let me throw a crankbait up there for a cast. I haven't thrown that all day today. Maybe I'll get a real good one out of that school. It looks like they might be on like a little piece of brush or like a little rocky spot or something up there. I'm just gonna burn a crankbait through that. It's a big bait, but if there's a better quality fish up in there, they'll eat this thing. Okay, we're up here on this next point, and yeah, there's a bunch of fish up there. Let's see if we can get a bite. Let that Scamper Rig do its job, because that's been the bait right now that they seem to be wanting, more so than anything else. Oh, one just is chasing it right now. Come on. It's following it 65 feet. There's a fish on it, but I want to get his friends engaged with the bait too. There we go, there's a bunch of them. Come on, come on, got him. There we go. There's a ton of them up there too. Oh my gosh, this is the bait right now. The Scamper, you saw how I kind of let that bait fall back down to the fish. There was a fish following it, but I wanted to get like 6 or 7 of them. Oh, came off, pulled off. Okay, let's get back up there. It was the same size as the last fish, but I wanted to get 7 or 8 of them and get, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, come on. One of you has to eat this thing. Oh, look at them all. Bait's falling at 60 foot. There's so many of them. I pulled off that spot. Man, well, I kind of screwed that deal up by losing that fish. Usually when you lose a fish on a spot like this, it really messes those fish up. They don't like that at all. So he just came off right at the boat. Don't know exactly what happened there, why it happened, but that stuff happens. You lose fish, you miss fish. I think I kind of screwed the school up because of it a little bit, unfortunately. I do have a little glide bait on here. I want to see if I can get down to these fish. There's a lot of them sitting down there still. You can see there are probably like 50 fish sitting down there. So there's plenty of fish to come up and eat my bait. But a lot of times when you just miss one or lose one, they just get really weird. It's very interesting how that happens. Let's see if these fish actually come get interested in this though. It's sinking really slow at 50, sinking down to these fish. And I want to see if this glide does anything. If it doesn't, then we might have to come back and refish this area in a bit when they kind of get settled down. But man, this bait sinks so slow. Let's see if any of them get interested in it though. Bait's at 40 feet. Ooh, oh, come on. They're getting, they're going crazy. Come on, one of you eat it. How are there that many fish around my bait? And I'm not hooking a single one of them. Are you serious? Are you actually serious? There's no way. There's no way there's that many fish around this glide. Not a single one of them wants to commit. That's crazy. Ooh, there we go. Another little brushy spot that has some fish on it down here. I'm basically just looking right now, guys, for spots that match the pattern of what we were finding. And there's one little point here that's just at the very edge of our zone, and it has a brush pile right there. I mean, that's perfect. Right there, you can see those fish clearly in that brush. 1, 2, 3 decent ones. We're gonna mark a couple icons here, and there's actually a brush pile on this side too that looks kind of interesting. Don't know if there's as many good ones in it, but let me check this real quick. It's on the other side of this point. Let me spin around. But that definitely looks good. We're basically now kind of in a time crunch of let's try to run this pattern. We have a bait, we have a type of deal, which is some rounded points in that like 15 foot of water zone. There's a handful in this zone that we haven't looked at, and we can even try to rerun some of the areas where we have had a few bites, where we saw a few fish. There was like that one, oh my goodness, look at that. Oh my gosh, that is loaded down. That's not, these aren't all big fish, but there's a bunch of them. So we'll mark that. There's a little bit of brush there too on that point. Holy cow, look at that. On that rocky spot, there's a bunch of fish. Again, not all big ones, but enough of them right there. Wow. We're kind of getting into a pattern now. So this is pattern fishing 101, guys. It took me 4 hours to figure out the pattern, the bait, the area, the type of deal. But now that we found it, I mean, that is just one of the prettiest looking spots you can see. And we've seen some fish earlier today in decent quantities. They just haven't been the right size, or maybe we just haven't had the right bait. I'm not 100% sure, but we now have it, so we need to take advantage while we can. Oh man, look at that piece of timber right there, guys. We are about to crack them right here. Oh, come on. Where's my bait? Bait's falling at 70 foot. There's a bunch of fish on this deal. Come on. One of you. Oh, God. Oh, come on. One of you eat it. Come on, one of you get it. Got him. There we go. Oh my gosh. There's so many of them on this piece of timber. This pattern is awesome, guys. They're slapping and getting at it. Oh my gosh, they're spitting up shad like crazy too. They are gorging down there. Nice spotted bass again, another nice keeper. I think a lot of the fish that are missing it are little guys, to be honest, because a lot of times that happens with the scamper. If it's about smaller than this, it's hard for them to get that bait in their mouth. These fish love to just poop on me for some reason. Recently that's been happening all the time. I don't know what that deal is about. Let's get our cast in there though before they calm down. Oh my gosh, okay, where's my bait? Need to find the bait. Oh, there it is, okay. It's falling at like 60 foot. It's right on that little tree. Come on. One of you come eat it. Let's see if I can get a couple off this stuff versus just one. Oh, he had it. Come on, fish. Oh. He had it. He didn't get it. Look at them all, though. So many of them. All little guys. The Scamper Rig, I've done a ton of experiments with it, and it's hard with this D shad for them to get the bait in their mouth if they're under 12 inches. And on beaver, that is like one of the biggest benefits you can have because there's so many little guys. So you'll have the little guys slap it, slap it, slap it, and all of a sudden you'll get a keeper that wants to eat it, and you'll actually be able to get them in the boat, and you're not gonna have too many little fish messing with you. Oh my gosh, look at them all. There we go. Oh yeah, come on. Little guy again, just grabbing the tail. They're There's so many of these little ones that are just grabbing the tail. They don't have the hook in their mouth. You feel the tension, but they don't have the actual bait all the way in their mouth. They just have the tail. But look at them all. Oh my gosh. Come on, when did you get it? Come on. Come on. Got him. Oh, come on. Got him. Here we go. Okay, that's a retrieve right there, guys. I didn't realize that was a thing. If these fish are missing it, or they're following it, you can just shake that rod while reeling that bait in. Good spotted bass. Look at all these fish. They're just good ones, just absolute chunks on that Scamper rig. What you can do is shake that rod while they're following it, and they will commit to it when they're just following it. You just kind of shake that rod really fast, and they will come unglued on it. They are eating that deal. Oh man, guys, I'm shaking. We're finally getting on the deal here. It took me a while. It's been a hot day, but they're finally eating. And I need to stop getting discouraged when I miss a fish on this deal, because I have to just keep reminding myself that when you miss one, it's not a keeper. It's not a keeper. So you just need to keep working that bait, keep getting in the area, because I've missed a couple now where I've basically had them come off, and then I've reeled the bait in and just kind of gotten all discouraged. But instead, you just need to keep working that bait, because a lot of times they'll be fighting over it and the little guy won't get it, and then finally you'll give the big one a chance to actually come get it. I'm gonna try this retrieve where I'm just shaking that rod. They seem to really, oh gosh, come on. Oh, come on. Get it, good one. We need a good one to get it. Come on. Come on. Shake that rod. Come on. Good one. Stop getting you little tiny dudes. There's so many tiny dudes. One of the good ones, just get it, fish. Got him. Oh, no. Come on. Got him. Dropped it straight below the boat. These are the dudes. I don't know how I hooked one. These are the dudes that are messing with me. When you're missing them, you're missing these guys right here. They're all these little, like, 10 inchers, and they're hitting it, they're hitting it, they're hitting it. You don't want these fish. Finally hooked one, but most of them just won't get that bait in their mouth. But that's what's messing with us. That's what's hitting us over and over and over. And the ones that we're getting are the keepers. So again, don't get discouraged if you're missing them on this deal. I need to remind myself that too, because it's actually a good thing you don't catch those little guys, because you're giving the big ones a chance to eat it. So I didn't get any more bites off that piece of standing timber that was right here on this kind of rounded-ish point. I also checked over here. I got a few fish to swipe in my bait, but I think they were just all small. And unfortunately, there are some other points I'd love to check out, like this point right here, this one right here. They all kind of match this pattern, these rounded points. But unfortunately, they're outside of our zone. So I have come over here to an area which is within our zone. It's kind of right basically across from where the dye dropped. And we're going to check this rounded point here, as well as some of this stuff over here. There's a few points in this area. So hopefully this area also has them. Sometimes it gets weird with these fish that they'll be only in like a very specific zone of the lake. And maybe around that corner is where all those fish are kind of setting up in that way. Hoping that's not the case. Hopefully there's some fish over here as well off of this point. There's a boat ramp that sticks in the water here. Maybe they're sitting off the end of this boat ramp or something. But it's kind of tricky with this zone deal, because I think I could keep running those points down that way and just keep catching them, but that's not the goal today. It's to kind of try to find them within the confines of this area. So we're gonna graph here. Looks like there might be something going on right here. A couple of fish. There's the end of that boat ramp right there. Yeah, there's some fish off the end of this ramp. You can see a few of them sitting right there. It's actually a pretty good depth zone. Yeah, they're sitting right there. Right like we were seeing them before. It's mark fish icon. That looks pretty good. Looks like there's a big something down there. There's also some isolated pieces of brush off this deal too. I'm gonna keep graphing because it kind of, this point sticks out here pretty good. I like the tip of that boat ramp though. Kind of sets up perfect with our pattern. Come on, fish. Right here. Come eat it. Come on. Got him. There we go. Okay. I was actually just looking, there was so much bait out here. Look at all this bait. Now I was trying to see if I could find a random roamer out here, and I found one. This is just out in front of this boat ramp after not catching any. And decent spotted bass out here, really good spotted bass. Came up and choked that Scamper Rig. Maybe another pattern for us right here. Potentially, there's a bunch of bait out here. That's a good spot. Nothing on that boat ramp over here. Missed one small one, just pulled my shorts down, but that was a good fish out here. Let me see if I can find another one on this deal. Okay, well, this wasn't quite following the pattern that we've established, but it seems like there are just some fish that are roaming out here on this shad. And that fish that I dropped to was just kind of swimming within 10 feet of the surface out here in between this bait. And I was just looking around the bait to see if I could see any fish. And there was just one random spotted bass out here, which is kind of crazy. It's another one random fish. What are they doing just in singles? So strange. See if I can drop to this fish. Oh, there's a few over here too. The Scamper Rig is probably a pretty good bait for targeting these fish if they aren't too deep. I may have to minnow them if they're too deep. But you can see there's a few fish just kind of randomly roaming around out here, in and around these bait balls. Bait's at 50. Trying to drop through this bait because there's some fish just in these bait balls and around. There's one at 60 foot now. Need to probably not target the fish that are too deep. You can see him in those bait. He's like doing the eye of the tiger on them over there at 60 feet. Quite a few fish randomly roaming around. Oh, there they are. Look at that. Oh, my bait was right on them. Dang it. They're at that bait ball at 65 feet. See if I can get my bait over to them again. Where are you at, fish? Here they are. I'm right on them. Come on. There's a couple of them just swimming around. They're swimming pretty quick around these bait balls. This is kind of probably the go-to method, to be honest, if you wanted to go catch a bunch of fish today, is get on these isolated bait balls and just find a little zone that has fish on them. I don't like fishing this way. I much prefer catching them off of like the isolated pieces of cover and stuff I was showing you earlier, to be honest, but this is probably the better way to be catching them. There's a lot of fish. There's a lot of bait out here. There's not a lot of fish, but there's enough fish, I feel like. If you want to just go do this all day, you probably could, just as a pattern. There's a lot of bait in this area, so you probably just go back and forth down, in and around and all through here and just look at the bait balls, wait till you see a fish, and that's probably what you could do to even catch some good ones. I'm sure there's probably some decent largemouth roaming around out here and some good spotted bass. I'm not going to do this for long. I want to see if maybe I can get like one more fish doing this, and then we'll keep running our other pattern, but it just is something good to pay attention to. It gives us another option to catch quality fish out here when it's been kind of tricky to find those today. Okay, well, I will say I've been doing this for about 10 more minutes, and it is not that easy to catch these fish out here. There's so much bait and there's really not that many fish, and I've had a few chances where I put a bait in front of fish, but it's not been really that great. There's so much bait in this area and so few fish that you're looking at mainly bait, and then when you do find the bass, they're kind of hiding in the bait clouds. They're not the easiest to see, so I have this color palette on that kind of filters out some of the shad, like slightly when you get a certain angle, which will help you see the fish in those bait balls a little bit better. But you can go through this whole area here, and I mean, I haven't seen a fish as we've been talking, so it's not as good as you would think, like, oh, you can just get out here in the bait and just cast at every fish. Like, it's probably at this point more efficient for me to be doing my other pattern, just because I know I can pull up on spots and find them if I can get out of the zone. But I mean, it is a pattern, it's something to do. I like to just experiment and just kind of see how good this stuff is. There's a couple fish right here. I also have a knot in my braided line, and I only have one spinning reel that's functioning right now because all my spinning reels have messed up on me today. It's been a bad day for me and spinning reels, and that fish swam all the way down to the bottom. May not have even been a bass. Yeah, not a good day for me and spinning reels. I have like knots in my line, I've broken stuff. So I might need to figure out how to throw a Scamper on a bait caster, because I prefer to not throw a spinning rod if I can. But anyways, this is the deal. I mean, this is already kind of getting on my nerves. So let's put this away and let's go graph a few more points to see if we can get one more fish in the boat, kind of more traditional style. Well guys, I graphed the last few rounded points in this section of the lake and really didn't find all that much. I do think if I went further outside the zone, I could find a few more spots that had them, but either way, we're able to put a limit of fish in the boat today in a very confined zone here on Beaver Lake. Tough fishing, dog days of summer, middle of August, so I'll definitely take that. It was a lot of fun catching them on that Scamper rig. They were coming up and crushing that thing. It was fun watching them fight for it on the active target, and I tried a bunch of different stuff, trying to catch fish in different ways. Never caught a largemouth today, which is very interesting. And I know there are sections of the lake where I can do all the patterns that I've done today. You can find a stretch of boat docks and shallow areas where you can catch them on a whopper plopper and a buzz bait. You can also find some standing timber right now, I'm sure, that has some really good quality largemouth in it, some section of the lake here. Same thing with those rock piles and all the different stuff that we kind of fished today. This section though maybe just isn't the best for maybe catching big fish, which I kind of know it's the reason why I don't really fish this section in August, but it is interesting at least to figure out the patterns, try to experiment with stuff, figure out what's working, what's not, and hopefully this video will explain a little bit of my process of how I break down the zone of the lake. I wouldn't recommend doing this if you are trying to fish for like a tournament or trying to catch your biggest 5 fish. A lot of times it's better to pick a pattern that you know is working on the given day that you're fishing and run the entire lake, and that's normally what I do, but I wanted to at least try this video format. If you like it, I can keep doing it and make more videos in this style. I just wanted to experiment with it, see what you guys think. Shout out to Matt Pangrak for giving me the idea from BTL. Go over and subscribe to Bass Talk Live if you want a great podcast to listen to. You can also go to Spotify or on the Apple App Store for the podcast app. You can find all that there, BTL Bass Talk Live. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoy watching me catch them on the Scamper rig. If you guys want to check out any of the equipment I talked about in this video, link down in the description there to that. We'll see you guys in the next video.